Hello, everyone. Uh, I want to talk about one of my favorite topics here. It's called zeroth impression. And zeroth impression is just that it's what comes before the first impression. I mean, most of us know, and we have heard time and again that make sure that you give a good first impression, because if you don't give a good first impression, then all hell breaks loose and you will never have a chance to make a second impression because you already lost the first impression, right? That has always been said for a very, very, very long time. And I think this statement, make a good first impression, came way before the internet, social media, when the world was not as connected as it is now. So, which makes sense, right? So, basically, the first impression is the very first thing that you will have with anyone. The world has changed a lot now. From the time we have the internet and all the social connections and everything, the zeroth impression comes way before the first impressions. What is zeroth impression? It's an impression that people have way before they meet you for the first time. So what do you do when you have a meeting with someone? You just don't walk up to the meeting and say, "Hey, somebody told me I should meet you." What do you do? Who are you? That look really rude, isn't it? So what do? You just go to LinkedIn, you just go Google the person, and then you start collecting all the information on social media. And when you get their social media profile, what do? You just find out what are they talking about, what is their interest, are they nice to people, are they adding value to people, or are they taking value from other people, and are they grateful, are they generous? You start make a huge list of things, and you don't say that you have made a list of all those things. And when you first meet them, they start talking, and half the time you are just trying to validate yourself whether your assessment of your zeroth impression is in line with the first impression that they are making. So first few minutes you are not even worried about what they are saying, you are worried about yourself, trying to see is there a match between what they said before they met you on social media and all the everything you can get about them, and what they are saying, is it congruous, like is it in line with whatever they are saying. So do you know what they will be doing when they try to meet you? Exactly the same thing. They will try to get your zeroth impression, and they start validating whether they got it right. So what do we do now? So first is that we all have to be aware that there is a zeroth impression. That means every time you interact with someone, every time you say something, every time you comment, even in go to Amazon and comment on a book review, everything adds up to your zeroth impression, and there is no negotiation. There is no sort of a something happened and you got outraged and that's why you blew up on somebody, or you just called names on social media or Twitter or Facebook or something, and you had a context. They don't know the context with which you spoke badly about someone. They just know that you did, and because there is no context, they can make up uh, whatever image about you in their mind. So zeroth impression almost heavily influences the way they look at you during your first impression. So what happens is, although you get so prepared that you will make the very best first impression, it is already colored by their internal image of you from the zeroth impression that they have already looked at. So what happens is, you can do whatever you want, but if the zeroth impression is not optimal, you had to start from minus zero to come up to zero first. You have to work extra hard in the first impression. That they have to first come to zero, like the ground floor, and then you move up to the first floor, right? But imagine we all lead our life in a different way. As long as you are communicating with someone, you always know that you are building your zeroth impression, and it will matter in all the first impressions that you will make with anybody else. Then you don't have to worry about it day in and day out, because you don't need to, because you know that everything is adding up to a zeroth impression and you are just fine with it. Which means, the easiest way to think about it is, as long as you are speaking, you assume that you are on a stage. On the stage, You don't talk nonsense or you don't be disrespectful for anyone. But every time you open your mouth, you assume that you are in the stage, then the zeroth impression automatically is handled extremely well. So, um, all the best and have a happy day. And until next time, we'll think about the zeroth impression, and you can share your ideas on your comments. I have a blog post, I think, which I wrote about 12 years ago. If I find it, I'll also post it in the comment section on my Facebook. Have a happy day. Bye.